Hello there. I'm Emily. It is such an honor our paths have crossed. I am so passionate about helping intuitives like you bring your work into this world your way. And I'm here to tell you it is possible. I have been at the starting gates, I've been at the point where you cross that six-figure mark and growing. And it's one of those things where I can tell you there's a way to do it that feels really good and true to who you are while also helping other people without burning out, paying a lot of money. Or the thing that I was wondering the first time around is, am I focusing on the right things? And sure enough, I wasn't. That's why I created this program, because I want you to know exactly what it is you need to focus on and what you don't. And you are here because I misspelled because. Look at that. By the way, in your own business, you are going to have to know how to continue to move forward without things being 100% perfect all the time, which can be hard. But trust me, it's better that you get your work out to the right people than focus on every single little perfection, unless you're a brain surgeon. Okay, but we're not. We are intuitives, and you are answering an inner call. There's something about your experience that you are feeling as though it's time for you to shine, it's time for you to share. You're probably wondering how you get started. We're going to get into all of that here. We're going to get into the qualitative and the quantitative, the masculine, the feminine, the spiritual, the human, and it's all important, and you're going to find your balance with it. You also want to break free from the current systems. You don't want to spend some of your best years working for somebody else, building their dream. You're ready. And you really want to be seen for all of who you are, and you want to express yourself. And you want to create a virtual business that you love, that clients love, and gives you personal freedom. Yes, please. And again, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. Also, this is so that you can choose when you work, how you work, and who you work with. This has been one of the highlights of switching careers. I absolutely adore my clients. All of them, everybody I work with, it's just, there's always something to learn. Everybody's doing their best. The other thing is, you may want to retire someone, or you may want to retire yourself and do this work. You may want to travel, volunteer, buy that cabin. I don't know, like restart the Beanie Baby collection. Why did that come to my mind? We're off to such a good start here, you guys. It's only going to get better too. But ultimately, it does all come down to the freedom that you desire, freedom to be. So, I'm Emily McNaughton, if we haven't met yet, and I was working in tech, burnt out. I've seen energy since I was a kid, and I'd see people's auras throughout my younger years too, and into the time where I got to my 20s and I just didn't know what to do with it. So I started taking different types of energy classes and seeing different practitioners, and then people started seeing me for this work. And I loved working on the side, but I was exchanging time for money and it was burning me out again, which was not the point. So now I am a full time intuitive entrepreneur. I have, if you don't know this about me, Inner Light Universal has the Inner Light Framework arm, the Energy First, and then it has the Prism arm, which helps intuitives who want to grow their business. So that's the thing about what makes the work that we share here together different is I have built the business and now I'm helping other people do the same. And I still have it and it's still growing and doing incredible. So, just a few of the programs that I offer. I wrote a book called Your Energy First: How to Be Your Own Transformational Healer. I have a podcast. I also have the Alignment Container, Prism, Transform Your Relationship with Alcohol Forever, The Energetics of Money, and more. When I got started, I wouldn't have been able to put pen to paper for not one of these. Not one. Not even as a dream, not as a vision board. It wasn't a wisp in my imagination. So, you, getting back to the other slide, are answering an inner call, and don't compare yourself to someone else's multi years down the road. You too are at some point going to look back and be like, wow, this is my portfolio of work. How incredible. And think too, it's not just about this work you're creating for the sake of work. You are truly helping people enhance their own lives. So everything is energy. We're getting right into it. E equals MC squared. The alignment work you do for your business will make such a difference. It's as important as the tactical actions you need to take for it as well. So the way that this works is you would go to, however it is you get centered with yourself, I teach the Inner Light framework, and you would sit with yourself for a bit and be like, what is it that I really want? Who do I want to work with? How do I want to work with them? And you may not know the details, but I want you to feel it. And I want you to feel gratitude that you're being called for this work. And I always like to set the intention that I work with the right people, the right divine timing. Perfect. What else do you need? And one of the funny things about this work is even when I go through growth phases in my business and, you know, maybe a client and there's something that I'm learning there, I still freaking adore them. And it's just so funny. It's like, wonderful. You don't have to deal with, you know, jerks. You get to learn lessons from really amazing people too. So this alignment works really, really well, and your clients are going to get really good results from it, which is really important. You're also going to get opportunities that are in alignment, or you may need to be the one to seek opportunities. You know, one of the things I do not want us to underestimate whatsoever when it comes to this work is a lot of people that you see who have books, who are on the screen, who were seemingly plucked out of nowhere. If you actually listen to their story, they were driven by their purpose and mission to bring this work into the world. They went to studio execs. They published their own books. They did things that put themselves on the map because they were so passionate about their mission. So don't feel as though they've got something I don't. No, your mission and your purpose are here for a reason. So what is your mission? Your mission, I want you to think about this for the entire duration that you have an offer, a business, whatever you want to call it, because it's what's going to drive you. It's what's going to help you make aligned decisions and take aligned action. Your mission is what is going to encourage you to get up and be invoked in the desire to help people. And that is something no business plan can do for you, and nobody can take away from you. That is why you're feeling the nudge, and that's why you're here. So what is your mission? Also, it's going to be ever evolving. So there was a time I was working with a coach. She was wonderful. And she's like, Emily, if you could do anything, what would you want to do? And I was like, well, I'd want to talk about energy. And there's this inner light that I just really like that I want to teach people. Hopefully I sounded more intelligent than that. She's like, Emily, that's so cool. And I was like, how am I going to make money at that? I'm going to show you further down the slides. I didn't know, hence why we're here again. I want you to also think about your business ecosystem. You build your business, you grow it authentically, brick by brick, layer by layer, energetic piece by energetic piece. What I showed you a few slides back, the podcast, the book, the programs, all of that is the ecosystem of my business. You are going to be your brand. You are going to have things that you stand for that are going to be so important for you. So I want you to think about that too, is over time, like I have a list, I just have a note section in my phone of all these other business ideas I have that are going to be part of my business ecosystem. So know that it's going to kind of fluctuate, and know that you get to be the creator. No business will stifle you. It's only going to encourage you because of the way we're going to build it. Okay. Do you know what's funny about this picture up here, by the way? And I, in Prism, will teach how to do photo shoots and take photos without spending a ton of money. We were in a rented space, and that was like a scary twin bed that just looked so gross. It was just a mattress. It wasn't even a bed. It was just a mattress with like a random blanket, and blech. It's just so funny the way, it's supposed to look all cutesy and professional and stuff, and instead it's like, I don't want to be lying on this thing. Okay. Anyway, what is going to make your business, what makes your business and what we're talking about today, your 6-figure foundation? My point in telling you that story was like, everything isn't as it seems. And also, you do not always have to pay for professional photography. So you having clarity, and this will take you time, by the way, but having clarity on what you offer, how you deliver it, and what the client experience and outcome is. Think about that for a second. What is the client outcome or experience? That is going to be the name of the game for you. When you have clarity on that, you begin sharing your work and you get reach. Then You want to start your funnel early. A funnel is how you set up an internal sales process so that while you're asleep and someone finds you via your clear messaging that you've shared somewhere in the universe, they find you, they get into your funnel, and then they get nurtured and supported by you automatically via an email sequence, and they understand different ways to work with you. The other thing that makes this a six-figure foundation is we are talking about clean, clear, and crisp ways to work with you. Not a lot of funny business. You do not need all the bells and whistles. You need to speak directly to your client. You need to understand what it is they're going to be going through with you, and then have a clear button call to action. The other thing I want you to think about is what starts as one-on-one sessions later turns into greater programs. You may write a book. You may have a TED Talk. You may have a podcaster go on podcasts. You may do intimate group programs. You may do larger premium VIP programs. This is your offer suite. And I want you to think of a ladder. You go to the top, everybody funnels in from the top. Why would everybody funnel in from the top? Oh my goodness. I want you to actually think of a funnel. I have another slide I need to do for this, but I want you to think of a funnel. Most people are at the top, free offers, free information. And then they scroll down. It's like maybe they buy a PDF or they buy a membership or they buy a smaller program from you. And then maybe they get down where it's like fewer people need it, but they want your premium VIP offer. And that's going to be more expensive. When I say your offer can go up and down, here's what I mean. You have the same clarity and the same reach via your funnel, clean, clear, crisp ways to work with you. And that could be either at the top of the funnel with your free work, because people are at a point in their life, they just want the free work. And then there's people who are going to want to work with you intimately one-on-one, and everything in between. You can have an entire offer suite going up and down the ladder, up and down the funnel, from that one offer that you offer in a variety of ways. So how to transform your relationship with alcohol forever is a course, a book, or work with me one-on-one. Work with me one-on-one, pay thousands of dollars. Buy the book, pay around $20. Buy the program, pay $100. You get the idea. It's all the same information. It's just different how they ingest it. Also, I share a lot about the book online for free. So there you go. So that's why you can have a six-figure foundation for your business, because you're learning the concepts of business early. Wunderbar. Second action step, because the first one was you doing the alignment work for the right clients. Your newsletter is everything. It is the one piece of the internet that nobody can take away from you. Instagram belongs to Meta. Your website could go down based on who knows what. Unless you build your own from scratch, then good for you. But people don't do that. So all of those things. Your newsletter are people who have said, "You're welcome into my place for a cup of tea. I would love to hear what you have to say." I want you to really think about this. One of the cool things about you being creative and staying creative in your work and not being stifled is the more you share your creativity with people, the more they'll join your newsletter and the increase in sales you will have. What's really beautiful is that people are always ready to buy something. People buy every single day. So when your newsletter comes in, if your newsletter reaches 10 people, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, when you're ready to sell something, you're going to sell something. And that is really special. So I have another part in Prism where we actually go through this entire newsletter setup. But here it is. You are going to first just do a new form. You're going to find an email company that you like. I have one that I refer to here that I'll send you the link to. It's an affiliate link, so I get a small percentage if you sign up. And you're going to create new form, and you're just going to immediately make your newsletter available. Everywhere you go, everything you do, newsletter, newsletter, newsletter. Once that's done, and you feel like, okay, this is what I know I want to offer, you want to create a free offer of some sort. These are also known as lead magnets, freebies, also known as funnels. And from there, you are going to give somebody a micro experience of your work for free. This here, what we're doing right now, would be considered a lead magnet. And you're part of a funnel. Surprise! Surprise, surprise. So we offer value. And by the way, my first ever lead magnet, I think, was one few minute long video explaining the inner light, or it might have been a PDF. So this is an intense funnel. I don't want you to worry about that. You may do a meditation you record. You may do a one-off PDF sheet. It just needs to come from the heart. People do all kinds of freebies. This is elaborate. This doesn't need to be yours. But it will be one day, but not right now. So next, I want you to think about what is something that would really be something unique that represents me that I can offer people. Then you're going to create your first email funnel. I'm giving you all the good details right here. The first email, so someone signs up, you're going to create a new form, a new intake form. So you've got your newsletter form, and now you've got this freebie form. People are going to sign up, and they're going to say, great, now I get my one-page PDF with this workbook, with this list of foods to avoid, with these intentions, with these whatever. Your first email is just going to say, hey, their first name. Here is your XYZ. Here you go. That's it. We just keep it really simple. Here's what it is I said I would deliver to you. And you attach whatever your freebie is. The second email you're going to send them is going to be a day later. You just want to space it one day later. And you just want to say, hey, how's it going? Yesterday you received XYZ. Here's a best practice tip around it. And then you're going to sign your name, and then you're going to put in the PS section, PS, because people read that more than anything else. Here are other ways to work with me. And then you do a link to your primary offer. Email 3 goes out the next day or a few days later. Another tip. Or you do a little about me. This is why I created this. Or you talked about that in email 2. And then again, a link on how to work with you. Okay? There you go. You got your first funnel. People will pay $500 to $5,000 for these things. And I'm showing you how to get this into your business from the get-go because it's so important. And again, what is my mission? Intuitives need to be out there in this world. We have so many people going through the spiritual awakening process. The health and wellness space, or just the wellness space alone, is meant to be multiple trillions of dollars in the next few years. People need active intuitives, whether you're an intuitive who's an esthetician, who is teaching something that you've learned about life, physical therapist, whatever it is you do, it is needed right now. We need to bring our intuition into these things. Okay, so you need engagement in order for you to personally grow and understand how it is you're meant to best deliver your work to people. Period. There's no course you could take, no coach you could work with who's going to do better than you. Just need to engage with the public with your work. So you've got your newsletter, and then I want you to pick 1 or 2 max of these social medias. So Instagram is like a second website for people. Maybe you're in a place where you're like, I'm going to treat it like my first website. YouTube and TikTok are outreach platforms. Everything brings them back to Instagram, where you nurture them on Instagram stories. Facebook is going to shock you, but is actually the number 1 performer of all social medias. Facebook. So I have clients who poo-poo it, and I'm like, well, let's look at your demographic. I'm like, they on Facebook. I'm like, well, I'm just looking at the facts. I'm like, I know you may not be on there a lot, but they are, so do what you want to do. So pick 1, max 2, and know that this is where you're going to nurture your audience. Next, I want you to network, and I mean genuinely network. Meet cool people, reach out to folks. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there and say, hey, I have this lead magnet. I'll give it to your podcast listeners or I'll make a custom one for your podcast listeners. Start to network and get comfortable speaking about what it is you do. It took me a while to be able to give somebody the quick downward pitch of what it is I do. I was playing around with it for a while. And now when I say it, I'm like, gosh, it's so obvious. It seems so silly, but you just need to really get comfortable. And again, think about your mission and your purpose. And now we're on to the next phase, which is, guess what? You need something to sell. You need something to engage with people. People are going to literally look at you and be like, how can you help me? I want to work with you. They will. And you're going to be like, I'm so glad you asked. I took this course from Emily McNaughton and I happen to have something for you and let's work together. Maybe you're thinking, you know what? I don't know what it is I want to do, or I don't know exactly what it is I want to offer to sell, right? You're probably feeling a little bit overwhelmed. Well, part of the process is you have to trial and error and see what you like and how you like to deliver it. You just gotta. So that's normal. Don't worry about it. But we're going to help you put together a small offer right now so that you can at least go through the process and have something to offer people and not stress about it. And then you're going to learn, grow. I mean, in the first year of Prism, I probably changed the sales copy as I was learning and evolving and growing. Well over a dozen times, probably more. So this is normal as we go through this process and we learn and we grow. So again, don't stress about it. So here's what I want you to think about. I want you to lean into, what do you truly love to do? Remember how I said the inner light work and talk about energy? Guess what? So don't stress about how am I going to make money at it. The universe unveils itself. Your higher self unveils the path step by step. And I also want you to think about, how do you like to support people? Do you like in person? Do you like community? Do you want virtual? Do you want group, small group? What's your lifestyle like right now? I work with a lot of moms who can't do a lot of one-on-one sessions. So they do a lot of virtual group work without the scheduled sessions, because that's just where they're at in life. So how do you love to support people? Also, what are some of the things you've thought about trying? So if you've thought about a podcast, I would actually suggest you do YouTube first. A podcast takes a lot of energy and mental energy and preparation, and you want to be sure you're in it for the long haul, or you want to go into a podcast with seasons. But YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. So any podcasts you do are just going to go on it anyway. So I would consider just starting with YouTube and enjoying that. And if you can post once a week consistently there for 4 months and feel really good, then a podcast is just going to come naturally. Okay. The other thing is, what are your modalities or certifications? And this is something where people will say, well, they sell whatever their modality is, right? And I don't actually want you to do that. I want you to think about the fact that that is a part of your delivery. It's part of your delivery. So if you have something that it is you're trying, say, I'm going to use this example. So one of my clients, she helps people who want to be in an intimate partnership, in a relationship. And so she helps people by saying, find genuine, or she doesn't say find genuine love, but she has her saying, right? And what's important there is someone is searching for genuine love. Like, how do I find genuine love? Versus relationship love coach, or versus someone who they are certainly not looking for, who has their certification in matchmaking or who has their certification in counseling for relationships. They're not searching for your certifications. So modalities really kind of get put down the line. I want you to start thinking about in terms of what are my clients looking for? What are people looking for? And this is going to get you into what are the benefits around the work you do. Now, as you keep track of these things, it might start broad, but then believe me, they will start to get much more particular. So these are some of the things you want to think about, because people buy when they believe you understand them and how you're going to help them solve their problem, not when they feel like they understand you. This is so important. So I'm going to let that sink in for a second. So I want you to start to kind of move your mind around this and start thinking about, okay, what are the benefits? Why are people coming to me for this work? Next, we're going to get you one simple, clear offer. What do you want to provide? What is it you want to do? And then what is the outcome or transformation, i.e., what's the benefit? What is the benefit? And I want you to really list out those benefits. And then you can list out at the end of your offer features. So list out the benefits. So we're going to get into some of this stuff, but list out the benefits. And then at the end, you can say this includes a 5-page PDF or a 70-minute mini course, or oh, this is a one-on-one group session for 30 minutes or an hour. I wouldn't do anything between 30 minutes and an hour. People tend to feel like they're getting got by doing anything that's under 60 minutes. So 30 minutes is fine, 60 minutes is fine too, but don't do like 55 or 50 minutes. It's just, that tends to throw people off unless you're a really famous practitioner, and then people, they feel differently about it. So the other piece is what pricing feels good right now. So I always have clients go into their intuition to just determine what's a good starting point for this price. And I swear they nail it every single time. So just go with your gut, because the funny thing you'll find, it's not actually about the price, it's about you embodying the price. I swear, when you embody it, they will come. When you are dancing around, should it be $10? Should it be $1,000? Should it be $300? Should it be $30? Blah, 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 blah. Spend all that time embodying it instead. Okay, this is the tech you're going to need. You're going to need Canva. Canva is a subscription. You can use the free version. Great, use the free version, or you can pay for the monthly subscription or the annual. Most businesses have this. Here is where you are going to save so much money, because in Canva, you can build a website, you can have your link in bio, you can have your workbooks, you can create a logo, you can create this cool social media that you want. You also are going to be able to put your offer. All you have to do is when you go into Canva, put offer PDF. And this offer that we just built on the previous page, you can put in an offer there, so that when someone comes to you and says, hey, I want to work with you, you go, great, here's the PDF to the offer. The next thing you want for your tech is you want an email service. So I really like Flowdesk because it's very user-friendly and it's very beautiful, and they don't charge you per subscribers. So a lot of email companies will charge you a monthly rate based on how many subscribers you have, and Flowdesk just charges you a flat rate. The other thing about Flowdesk is you can upgrade and use, they have checkouts, or what are also known as sales pages, that are really nice. So you kind of get a 2-for-1 for a little bit more. But you want to have your email subscribers. That's where it starts. Oh, one other quick thing. In Canva, they have a ton of free video and picture content you get to use on your social media, so that you, it can be pictures of you, which is awesome. But if you want some alternative pictures, they've got that there for you. Also, the story about how Canva came to be is a really cool story. It was a gal from Australia. She got rejected. She threw this idea out and she didn't throw the idea out. She had a great business plan and met with, I want to say it was over 100 companies or 100 people to invest with her, and everybody said no. So she built this herself, and it's turned into one of the best businesses out there, and it's taken a lot of the other ones by storm, and it's just really cool. So see, had a mission. She kept following her intuition. She's like, well, I guess I'll just do it myself then. If you're going to do virtual sessions, I recommend Zoom. Google Meet's really good too. Either way, you have to pay for them. So I recommend Zoom. I really like it for a lot of different things. You can create your YouTube videos on there. You can create this kind of a content. And then also I use Calendly for my scheduling. I've tried other scheduling programs. Calendly is very user-friendly. That's what I like about it. It sends people text reminders. There's just a lot of bonuses. So that part is all good. A quick note on websites and email addresses. Unless you are someone who's really just naturally good at this, great. I'm not one of those people. Do not spend a lot of time and money on your website in the beginning, because what you need is a sales page, and you need crystal clarity. You need to be crystal clear on, again, what you offer and your client's transformation. And that is going to take you so far. And then you can just use Canva or Lead Pages or Flowdesk. So a note on that. And then with email addresses, right now you could just create a Gmail address with your business name in it and use that. So, or you can pay Google to have it be a private domain. A lot of clients, when we're working together privately, they'll kind of intuit and we'll come up with really cool business names. And then they'll go to GoDaddy and they'll save the domain and park it there for a bit until they get their formal website up and going, which may not even be for years down the road because they've got other stuff going on. So just something to think about. And then there's more advanced folks that right away, just right out of the gate, want to do it, and that's good too. The other thing that you're going to need that I encourage you to do, and by the way, I'm not a financial professional, and this is not financial advice. Please use logic and common sense. Right from the get-go, create a separate savings and checking account that's just for your business. Doesn't mean you have to be, and you have to carve it out as an LLC or an SP or any of that, but just get used to seeing your business as its own energy in its own place. The other thing is Thrivecart is an incredible checkout system. So you can use Stripe for checkout. By all means, use Stripe. You can purchase Thrivecart. It costs more, but it's not necessary. Again, you can use Stripe for free, or they might have some add-on services you have to pay for. I just want to put this in your mind that down the road, you want to think about creating the least resistance possible for your clients always. And Thrivecart does that when it comes to checkout. Okay, let's talk about getting your work out there. So you're going to have to get a little bit comfortable being seen. And the way you get comfortable being seen is you know your mission. So you're passionate about that. So you're showing up on purpose and for a reason. And then you're also in this place where you're like, okay, I'm going to share what it is I know. And here's the other switch I need you to think about. How have you been using social media up until this point? Have you been a consumer? I was a consumer for a long time, and then I switched to a professional and I was confused. I didn't realize I had to separate the two. So I'd be online for different reasons and I'd feel drained, and I was like, why am I drained? I've been working or I've just been on it for fun, but it's because I was doubling up my efforts. So you are not an influencer. If you want to be an influencer, good for you, but most of you don't. Here's what I mean. Influencers tend to overshare, which we love them for that. We need people like that, right? It's entertaining, it's funny, it's quippy. They show their cellulite and the pimple and talk about their relationships and take pictures of all their meals. I would rather nap. I would rather talk to you about energy. I would rather, hug an animal. So you do not have to be an influencer. I want you to think about that right away. The time you actually have to spend online is far more minimal than you'd think it is. The next thing I want you to think about, and I also wrote, because you're a professional or soon to be professional in your field, so people are going to want to hear from you. Believe me, they are. We're in the age of Aquarius now. We're learning from each other. We're no longer toxic guru top down. So get comfortable sharing your work. How do you want to share your work? Are you verbal? Videos are great. Are you more written? You can do blogs and then you can turn them into posts. What are other creative ways you want to share? So I want you to think about how you best communicate. By the way, one other thing I will say, do not be afraid to just use a gentle filter when you're online. Please don't sweat it. I know showing up online is scary and it's all these things. Just use a dainty little filter. It's okay. It's okay. I'm not saying anything crazy. I'm not saying to make it look like you had, a bunch of work done. And even if you did, great. All I'm saying is just a little softening, right? We're just trying to get your work out there. That's the whole goal. Okay. It is so important that you are yourself. Use a filter, be yourself. I realize how that sounds. But look at me here. I was like, oopsie doodles, I spelled because wrong, or I went off on a tangent a couple times. Be yourself. Here's why. People need to know who they're going to be working with. People need to know who they're going to be engaging with. Are they your style? Also, it's what's going to make you stand out. Whatever it is you do, you may be thinking, gosh, this is out there already in this way, but it's not out there in that way. People like to get to know certain aspects of you versus a robot. So be yourself and be yourself more. And I just couldn't encourage that enough. Okay, short content is winning. So however it is you show up to share, and by the way, there's a huge need for more creators like 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. I know it's a wide range, but 40s on up, we just need a lot more of those content. We need the wisdom. We need the experience. Like life experience only comes with age. So do not be afraid to be somebody who shows up and is like, how do I start chatting about this stuff? Just do. And don't be afraid to, maybe you feel like, oh gosh, I have to give everything in the kitchen sink away. No, you don't. Short content is winning, and it's getting shorter and shorter. So it's kind of nice because you can basically batch create, which means you sit down and you create 4, 5, 6, 10 videos or more all at once. And we're just looking for information, people getting used to you and how you work and what it is you offer. Okay, we're going to talk about a couple industry terms. So when it comes to the online space, there's a lot of people who've made a lot of money just selling how to do social media. And there is some truth to it, but at the end of the day, this middle part here, your content is everything. So what a hook is a hook is if I say, I was thinking the other day about how I have learned so much on this journey and I really wanted to share some of these things with you. You might be kind of like, okay, sure. What if I said 3 things I would absolutely avoid if I was just getting started in my intuitive business? You'd be like, want that one. That's a hook. So all I'm asking you to do is think about when you present your content, what's the hookiest part of it? What's the most interesting part of it? Sum it up, put it at the beginning, rattle away with your content, and then at the end, you want to CTA a call to action. Call to actions are what's going to build your newsletter. So we're going to say, and I have XYZ in my profile if you want to learn more. And that is what is going to help your entire ecosystem naturally grow. So do not be afraid of call to actions. Use call to actions. They're so critical. And then I already touched on batching content. Batching content is when you sit down and you say, okay, I'm going to make a list of these videos or these blogs so that you have content for the weeks and the months ahead. So when I first got started, I had a hard time batching content and I needed to share my work more so I could get community engagement. So I had more to talk about. And now I can batch content. It is freakish how much content I can make. I can make multiple months worth of content in a few short hours, and I love it. And it's inspired. It's inspired content too, which is engage with your audience. Again, when people comment, think about the fact that they took the time to leave a note for you. Engage with your audience, connect with people. It's fun. It's interesting. You're into the same topics. If somebody reads or leaves rude comments, so the first few times it happens, it burns. It really ticked me off actually when people left some rude comments because they were making fun of the other people that were doing energy work for the first time. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, don't you dare make fun of these people. We've been in the shadows for too long. So it feels harsh at first, but guess what it all does? It brings you back to your mission and you're like, you're not going to bring me down. This is far more important than who. And also, you've never gone online and just like written something negative about someone because you've just moved on. And so we always want to remember too, the person just isn't in a good place and moving on. Okay. You do not have to come up with new content all the time. You actually want to repeat yourself over and over and over again. You want to sound like a broken record. Why? It builds trust with people. Oh, they really know what they're talking about, or she really knows what she's talking about. So it's okay to repeat yourself time and again. Again, makes people feel comfortable. I created some hooks for you because I already adore you, and I know we probably haven't met yet. You can use and reuse these hooks as many times as you want, and they're meant for someone who's even in the beginning stages. So when you first read these, you might feel kind of like, oh gosh, I feel like I might be kind of stuck, or is this the right one? Just put it out there. You have to release the energy in order for things to move. The other piece that I want you to think about is you can go into ChatGPT and you can type in, I am a expert at, and then just write out whatever you're an expert at. I'm creating a program for, and you're just going to say a few things about your ideal client. If you're a womb healer, she would be a woman. Maybe you work specifically with women who've had hysterectomies. Maybe you are a birth doula. Maybe you're a grief coach. Maybe you're a certain type of wellness coach. Just put information in there and be like, or you help people find their purpose and be like, this is what I help people do. And then what you can say is, here's 2 hooks, and insert 2 of these hooks and say, can you please help me complete these? And it's going to spur ideas for you to start to have ideas on things to talk about. One other thing I will say about ChatGPT is it can't be something that you just copy and paste. Again, people feel the vibe, and you need to be you. You need to be unique. You need to be your unusual self so that people connect with you and so that they hire you. Collect testimonials now. Collect them often. Collect them often, please. This is going to be the one thing that feels kind of funny at first, but it's so important that you do this because testimonials build immediate trust and close the sales gap. How cool. So when you collect testimonials, have one spot you save them all in. I saved them in a few different spots and I'm still finding testimonials to this day. I'm like, oh, I kept some there. Sure. Now we're a little more organized. And you want to make sure when you ask for a testimonial that you ask someone, what was the highlight of what you experienced? What surprised you? What was your outcome? How were you feeling before and how did you feel after? Otherwise, they're going to say, oh my gosh, Emily was so great. She was so nice, blah, blah, blah. It was so wonderful. That doesn't tell people what they need to know. The other thing you can do if you don't have any testimonials right now is just put complimentary work out there and in it you go. And then ask them for that feedback there so that you get that in exchange. You can wait until you feel ready, or you can create fearless momentum. In alignment. We have talked about these things already. I want you to know that your business is actually part of your spiritual journey. It's an extension of you. It gets to be really, really good. There will always be challenges because there's always challenges with personal growth. But if you wait to feel ready, you are never going to have that inspiration strikes that says now's the time. This is a creative energy. We have to engage with other people. We have to share it. We have to open up our work. It can't just sit on our notes app all day. It needs to breathe, and it needs to breathe with people. So get your work out there. Okay. So I have a Prism group program. And then I have a Prism private program. If you feel like you are someone who is ready to go on this journey, Emily, I want to work with you for 3 months and now is the time and we're going to get all these things situated, I would love to be one of your biggest fans and help you do that. In Prism, we actually get to the root of what you offer, what your offers are. We get clarity on your messaging. We get clarity on your client. And we also go through the templates for your sales page and for your social medias. You also get that in group. It's just that you get it one-on-one with me. And the group is fabulous also and just so much fun. So if you want the private, you can apply. If you want the group, you can check out the link below for the group. Either way, I am so glad that we got to meet, that we got to connect. I would love to hear how this worked for you. Did you like this format? What did you learn? What was your takeaway? Like, what were you expecting going into this course? And what has been your biggest aha? It is my honor that I get to somehow support you in bringing your work to the people that need it.